Hello, recapers. Today's movie tells the story of Diana and David, who love each other very much. They are high school sweethearts. For people who fall in love in school, it often becomes difficult to stay together for life. But David and Diana were blessed. They understood each other deeply and built a beautiful life in California. Diana worked as a real estate agent and was doing well in her career, while David was trying to establish himself as an architect. His dream was to one day build a beautiful house for Diana. She had complete faith in him. So together they invested all their savings into his project. They bought property in the heart of Santa Monica, and for a while, everything seemed perfect. But then, the recession hit. Diana began struggling to find clients, and David's work also came to a halt. Their Santa Monica property was at risk of being sold, and they needed $50,000 quickly to save it. In desperation, they decided to go to Las Vegas and try their luck at the casino. Miraculously, David won $25,000. Diana, however, reminded him that money is temporary and only fulfills needs, while her love for him is eternal. While she said this, a billionaire named John noticed Diana and couldn't take his eyes off her. Encouraged by their previous win, Diana and David entered the casino the following day with a sense of anticipation. The glimmer of neon lights bounced off the polished floors, and the rhythmic clatter of chips and cheers from the tables filled the air, creating an intoxicating atmosphere of possibility. They were determined to double their money, convinced that fortune would favor them once again. However, this time, luck was decidedly against them. The cards seemed to betray them. The roulette wheel spun cruelly, and one by one, they lost everything. As they reluctantly gathered their things, their spirits heavy with disappointment and frustration, they noticed John at a poker table, calm and confident, his eyes scanning the room with calculated precision. Diana's gaze met his, and he smiled knowingly, as though he had been waiting for her. Without hesitation, he invited her to be his Lady Luck. With a mixture of curiosity and hope, Diana agreed. With her presence at his side, John's fortune changed dramatically. He won an astonishing $1 million. Grateful and impressed, he ensured that Diana and David were accommodated in one of the most luxurious hotels in the city, a gesture that both awed and unnerved them. But soon, the situation took a darker turn. John made an indecent proposal. He would give Diana $1 million if she spent one night with him. Shocked and outraged, Diana and David immediately rejected the offer, feeling insulted and demeaned. They left the hotel, attempting to restore their dignity, but as the days passed, their financial troubles grew more severe. Reluctantly, desperation began to cloud their judgment, and they agreed to consider John's offer. They even consulted a lawyer to draft a formal contract, trying to frame the situation as a business transaction rather than a violation of their principles. On the night Diana was supposed to meet John, she boarded his helicopter, the city lights stretching out below her like a distant, indifferent world. Meanwhile, David was racked with guilt and fear. He realized that saving their property in this way would cost them something far greater than money. It would cost their integrity and the trust between them. Panicked, he rushed to stop her, but by the time he reached the marina, it was too late. Diana was already aboard John's private yacht, the opulent vessel cutting through the water like a symbol of everything they had lost. John, ever controlling, gave Diana one final chance to back out, warning her that she would never have another opportunity. Torn between fear, obligation, and a flicker of curiosity, Diana considered refusing, but John proposed deciding her fate with a coin toss. The result was his favor, and Diana reluctantly spent the night with him. The following morning, David was devastated. The couple tried desperately to put the incident behind them, agreeing never to speak of it again, but the fragile peace was shattered when they returned home. Their property had already been sold. In Diana's purse, David discovered John's business card. Overcome with anger and suspicion, he accused her of betrayal, convinced that she had secretly met John of her own volition. Diana denied the accusation, but David's trust had been broken beyond repair. Their troubles escalated further when they learned that John himself had purchased their property and had begun to interfere in Diana's life. Enraged, she confronted him, demanding that he stop. But even after the confrontation, David's growing jealousy and insecurity caused their fights to spiral out of control. The constant tension corroded their relationship, ultimately leading to divorce. Diana left the house, giving David the $1 million, a bittersweet resolution to a relationship torn apart by greed, temptation, and mistrust. A week later, John tried to contact Diana once more. Initially, she refused, determined not to let herself be manipulated again. But over time, curiosity and loneliness crept in, and she eventually accepted his offer. John began showering her with lavish gifts, and gradually, Diana found herself developing feelings for him, believing he genuinely cared for her. Meanwhile, David, trapped in memories of their past, could not move on. Seeing Diana with John one day became too much for him. He collapsed on the street, overcome by shock and despair, and was rushed to the hospital. By that time, Diana had already filed the divorce papers, severing the last remaining ties between them. The once inseparable couple was now irrevocably divided, each caught in the consequences of choices driven by desperation, temptation, and pride. Later, she attended a charity auction with John. The winning bid was around $50,000, and John was about to win when suddenly David arrived. He shocked everyone by placing a bid of $1 million, donating all the money he had received from John. He greeted Diana, looked into her eyes, and then signed the divorce papers. John, who was also developing feelings for Diana, noticed the love she still had for David shining in her eyes. He realized that money can buy many things, but it cannot buy love. Feelings grow with time, and true love doesn't need wealth to survive. Understanding this, John decided to let Diana go back to David. To push her away, he told her she meant nothing to him and was only a part of his entertainment. He even gave her his lucky coin, revealing that it was double-headed. Diana was stunned. She began to recall all the memories she had shared with David. Deep down, she knew that while she had been momentarily drawn to John, her heart truly belonged to David. Love, she realized, is what matters most in life. Money comes and goes, but love is what brings happiness. She went to Paradise Lake, the place where David had proposed to her 7 years earlier. When she arrived, she found David sitting there. Without hesitation, she sat beside him. David didn't notice at first, but then Diana asked softly, "Did I ever tell you how much I love you?" David turned, saw her, and was shocked. Both of them confessed their love once again and apologized to each other. They decided to move forward together and live happily. And that's how our story ends. What did you think about the ending? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next breakdown.